my scrappy friends, I have a fun layout for you today for Scraplift Saturday. Welcome to the Crafty Maven channel. This is Hannah, and I am the founder, if you did not know, of the Crafty Maven. And so I am going to be using the layout that you've seen. It probably was pretty hard for you to see. I will try to make sure that I have the link below so that you can see where I found it on Pinterest. And I believe it's from, I don't know. It was like a weird, I tried to go to the link and I couldn't find the layout, but I think it was a person who scrapbooks occasionally, but it was just really fun. So I am going to be making this a 12 by, I don't know. It was 8.5, I think, and then I added the white. So it was 8.5 by 10 or 11. And then I ended up just making it 12. So I really like the way that it looks, and I don't mind that it's like a weird size because I can just either put it in a 12 by 12 and just use it. That's probably what I'll do. So the inspiration piece has like a map and it's very travel-y, and there's lots of blues and there's other colors too, but it's just a really fun and bright but travel-y layout or inspiration piece. So this picture is a landmark in the town that I grew up in, and it's called Vroman's Nose because it looks like a nose, and the person who settled around that area has the last name Romans, so a Roman. So I am doing a layout about this. Okay, so I'm kind of trying to follow the sketch or the layout pretty close. I obviously am using different papers and a lot brighter papers. They did have that really bright yellow paper that had the balloon, the hot air balloons. I had to think about what those were called. But I chose a matte print because I am actually making a layout that probably is going to go in my heritage album. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on here before, but I am working sort of on some layouts that are going to go into a more heritage type of an album or like family album where I make layouts about old family members, so old pictures, and I also have in there some pictures that are older but newer as far as like they're from the 80s and stuff. So but this is going to be, I'm going to actually do this layout about um, a, a legend or a story that is told in the town that I live in about this landmark, because I really wanted to take a really nice picture of this because this is one thing that you see in my town when you go in a little bit past Main Street. And so it's a really big thing, and people go and they hike up it, and it's really just, it's there. And if you live in the school district, you hear the story about this guy named Timothy Murphy. And he was milking cows up on Vroman's Nose, apparently, because I guess he had a farm up there. And just go with me, okay, guys? And so a band of local Indians decided to attack him while he was milking his cows. So, of course, he grabbed his milk with him and he ran to escape from these Indians, and he jumped off this landmark, this hill, and did not spill a drop of milk. Can you believe it? So we were told this story many times. Timothy Murphy is a big name in our town. He fought in the American Revolution against or he had a lot of encounters with the Mohawk Indians that were the Indians that lived in our area. Obviously, he did not jump off. This hill is about 1,200 feet. And if you have hiked up this hill, you would know you could not just jump off and be okay. There's one area where you could get to the road, like you can see the road from it, and there's a lot of trees sticking up and jagged rocks. So obviously he did not jump off, but it's just a fun story that is told within our town. And the fact that my kids obviously aren't going to know this area, but it is something that I see all the time. And a lot of my other family members who have lived and still live in the area that I grew up in see this and know the story. So I thought it would be really fun to add this to my album. Obviously, does it really um is it something that is a part of my kids' life? No, but it's something that it's a part of my life. And I feel that especially for my heritage album, there's a lot of stories, these family stories, these local stories that I want to be told, and I want to make sure this is how things get passed down. People tell each other these stories, these family stories, these town stories, the stories about where we live. And if we don't write them down, then either we're just telling them and then we tell them wrong, which happens a lot anyway. But if we don't write them down, maybe they might not be remembered. And so my goal is to tell these stories that I have for my family so that they can remember them. They can go back and read them and remember the stuff that they want to remember. So, yeah, I'm a historian at heart. So this was a really, really fun layout. I picked some arrows, as you can see, as I'm putting my title on. I used multiple different types of fonts and colors that kind of went along with what I was doing. I tried to stick with the blue and orangey kind of theme or like a yellow color. But the arrow just kind of reminded me of the Native Americans. And in the area that I grew up in, Native American, the Iroquois or Mohawk Indians were very prominent to that area. So how much they really lived there once the settlers hit, I don't really know. They probably got pushed out. But anyway, this is a fun story to tell. And this was a really fun layout to make. I really tried to keep it simple, but I kind of put my own flair on it. As you can see, the banners in the bottom have more pattern paper, whereas in the photo, the layout that was my inspiration, they had just like white, so it was a lot more white on white. But I really like the color, though I did add those in a minute you're going to see, or did I just add it? I added real, like the acetate words from Pink Fresh Studio. And down at the bottom says story. And I just really like the way that looks. It kind of adds something without being overly, because I was really trying to keep that feel of not overdoing it, but having like a really fun and cool layout that's going to be able to tell the story. And in the end, I did my journaling by typing it out on the computer. I don't do this very often, partly because it takes like 3 times as long for me to type something out as to just write it out. And but I typed it out and I did it in a typewriter font, one that is not perfect. What is it called? Your mom's typewriter or something. So sometimes some of the letters look a little funky, but I really like it because it kind of reminds me a little bit more of like a print or a typewriter that is like vintage, maybe, but not the We Are Memories Keepers one. Sorry, I had to make a kick out of that because there's a lot of talk about all that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Now you can see what it looks like with the journaling. I did decide to put that paper down at the bottom because I ended up using a lot more journaling than I thought I was going to. And I just kind of felt like it needed something to kind of help ground the bottom. And so in a minute, you're going to see the close-ups. So I hope you guys are inspired this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed the inspiration pieces that I've been making or that some of the other ladies have made in our group. They've been kind of helping me out until I moved. So, yes. Don't forget to keep watching this next week. We have lots of videos coming up, and I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you guys later. Bye.